Now I'll turn and face the seat, and we'll have tonight's talk from 6 until 7 p.m. Tonight's talk will be given by Madanagopala Prabhu. Madanagopala Prabhu has been was initiated in ISKCON in 1991. He's a disciple of His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami. And he is, for all of those decades, he's been helping educate and manage in ISKCON. And right now he helps manage in New Jersey specifically, and he's helping work toward building a Vedic-style ISKCON temple there in New Jersey, and that's in the works. And he's been here for the weekend teaching about the holy name and japa specifically, and tonight he's going to speak on five tips for your Krishna conscious practice. Hare Krishna.
We can do without this podium. It's kind of high. I'll just put this. Yeah, I'll just put it on here. Yeah.
Would you like one of these?
Yeah, maybe lower is better. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's perfect. So thank you all very much for inviting me into your wonderful community. It's a real pleasure and honor to be with all of you. My obeisances unto all of you, great Vaishnavas, and to be in the company of course, the most beautiful deities. Special obeisances to His Grace Dravida Prabhu, who's been my hero for many decades. Thank you. And my senior godbrother, Guru Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we will sing Jai Radha Madhav as is tradition. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Radha Giridhari ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll talk about this notion of spiritual progress as taught by Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So I want to first of all thank all of you for inviting me once again. And I want to thank His guest Balram Prabhu, Mukunda Charan Prabhu, right, Aviral Prabhu, and all the other devotees who have been orchestrating and arranging for these various opportunities for me to speak in your presence. So this whole notion of spiritual progress. What is spiritual, first of all? What does that even mean, spiritual progress? What does it mean to you? Anybody want to share? Yes, Darida Prabhu. Yes.
Spiritual progress is a progressive development of your consciousness of yourself as a spiritual being, and concomitantly, a consciousness of your relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Being, God.
Jai. Thank you. That's as succinct as it can get. Haribol. It's a progressive development of our consciousness, of our identity as a spiritual being, and the concomitant factor that, of course, our eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Being, which is Krishna, who is the all-attractive spiritual being. So what does the word spiritual mean to you? What does the word spiritual conjure up? Just the word spiritual. Like some people say, I'm spiritual but not religious. It's a very common thing, isn't it? Spiritual, but not religious, right? Yes, God conscious for sure. Krishna conscious for sure. Spiritual in particular. Like when someone says, okay, say someone is not even so familiar with Krishna consciousness in particular, but they have a notion, we use this word spiritual as an English word, and it has different meanings for different people. But traditionally, say in the Vedic context, you can say this word spiritual. The Sanskrit word, if you were to translate spiritual backward into Sanskrit, what word would you think of? In Sanskrit, what Sanskrit word do you think of? Atma is soul. Adhyatmik, that's correct. Adhyatmik means spiritual. Adhyatmik, something to do with Atma, exactly. So then it comes back, Atma means what? Self. So spiritual is very tightly connected with self, if you look at that word. Right? Adhyatmik. So spiritual progress in Hindi, you would say Adhyatmik Vikas. Vikas means progress. Adhyatmik means something to do with the Atma, Atmik. So it's more clear in Sanskrit because you can break down the words and get to the root of it. You see? Adhyatmik Vikas. So there are 5 aspects that form a strong foundation for a Vaishnava's spiritual progress. These 5 aspects are interconnected and they're vital for cultivating pure bhakti. So the first one is called sadhana. Sadhana refers to spiritual practice. Practice means what? What do you do on a practical level? What are things that you do? In some religious traditions, you don't have to do anything. You just have to believe. If you believe, that's good enough. It's true, isn't it? Some traditions, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because the idea is that if you believe strongly, then it's your consciousness and that's good enough. Then you can continue doing whatever you're doing. You don't change what you do, you just change what you believe in your heart. But in Krishna consciousness, you have to change what you do. It's a very practical thing. Because what you do is reflective of what you have accepted as reality. In Krishna consciousness, we don't believe too much. Have you noticed? If you read Prabhupada's books, he doesn't use the word believe. You better believe it. We believe this. We believe that. You don't see the word believe very, very frequently in Prabhupada's teachings. In fact, one point he says, belief is belief. It may be true, it may not be true. And truth is truth, whether you believe it or not. So belief and truth are 2 different things. But in the realm of spiritual, say, discourse, there is this notion that if you believe it, it's true for you. It's relative truth. It's relative to what you believe. If you strongly believe it, it's true for you, you go on believing. It's fine. And that's good. It's not good. Because if you believe in something that's not true, then you fall in the ditch. If you believe that I keep going this road, there's a ditch there, you'll fall in it. So belief is not enough. And belief in the wrong idea will land you in trouble. So belief is not even important. You have to understand the truth, and you have to live according to truth. That's why what we do, the practice, has to be reposed in truth. So what we do on a regular basis, sadhana, is spiritual practice. That's the first aspect of it, okay? Then another aspect of spiritual progress is seva. Sadhana and seva. Now, seva is also something that you do, isn't it? But it's distinct from sadhana. Slightly different. Sadhana would be like things that we do for ourselves, like we worship the deity. Of course, that's also kind of a seva. We chant the holy name to purify our heart, but that's also kind of a seva. So there's like a lot of overlap in these contexts, but still, you can say that we need to serve. In particular, when we serve others, when we serve devotees, or when we serve the community to uplift their spiritual consciousness, to improve the opportunities or give them access to do spiritual things, then that's a kind of selfless service. So that's called seva. So sadhana, seva. That's a very important limb of our practice. Then the third one, I call it svadhyaya. Svadhyaya means scriptural study. Svadhyaya. This also you can break it down a little bit. Swa means what? Self. And dhyayan means to meditate on or to focus. Right? So when we study scriptures, we actually understand better. We're actually focusing on ourselves. Krishna uses the word svadhyaya in the Gita, and Prabhupada translates it as study. Right? Something like that. So we got sadhana. What are examples of classic examples of sadhana that we do daily? Rounds, the chanting of on the beads. And then we can do kirtan, that's also sadhana. But primarily it's our vow to chant a fixed number of Hare Krishna mantras in the day. That's sadhana. Seva is then we go out, we maybe come to the temple, or we go out and distribute books, or we just clean something here for the temple, or even if you just clean your altar at home. That's a seva. Swadhyaya means you open the books and you study, or you listen to a lecture. That's swadhyaya. Then another very important limb is sangha. Sangha means spiritual association. Sangha. This also you can break down. Ga means what? Go. And sa means together. We go together. Right? Means you associate. We use that term in English too. Now, I'm going out. I'm going out with her. Right? It means you're associating, whatever that means, right? To go together. It means you hang out, basically. We're social beings. We like to hang out. We need to go places together. Sangha. But we don't want just any sangha. We want sat sangha. Sat means what? Truth. We want true sangha. The kind of sangha that is going to take us from untruth to truth. Asatoma sadgamaya. So come from asat, the temporary consciousness, to truth, the eternal consciousness. So sat means truth, but it's also translated as eternal. Isn't it? Sat Chit Ananda, eternity. Right? Consciousness, cognizance, and bliss. So sat means truth, and sat also means eternity. And those are ontologically interchangeable. In other words, if it's true, it's eternal. If it's not eternal, it's not true. Simple as that. Or it's relatively true. It's relative truth. And we don't care for relative truths. We care for absolute truths. You should care for your relatives, though. You should care for your relatives, but not relative truths. All right? Yes, I always wondered, like Einstein, right? He figured out the theory of relativity. He's such a smart guy, you know. I can't even figure out my relatives. You know, we've got so many of them. And the fifth one is sadachar. Sadachar means sober behavior. What does achar mean? Pickles. No, sorry. No, behavior, that's right. Behavior. Sad again comes from sat. Sat means true. True means eternal. I want my behavior such that if I'm doing that kind of behavior eternally, it's okay. That's how our behavior should be. It should be sober. Sober behavior. And when our behavior is so good that people want to be like us, want to be near us, they want to be influenced by us, and they feel happy when they're near us. That's sadachar. You just need to be nice to people. And little children also get a sense that's not very nice, or what is very nice. They get a sense, right? If someone treats them badly, that wasn't very nice. They'll tell their mom or dad, or they'll tell them directly, that wasn't very nice. Because we have a sense what is nice, what is not. How do you make someone feel? Sadachar. It's very important. So sadhana, seva, swadhyaya, sangha, sadachar. 5. Let's dive into each one of these a little bit more, okay? So sadhana refers to the disciplined practice of devotional activities that purify the heart and establish a connection with Krishna. It's disciplined. Discipline means you may feel like doing it, may not feel like doing it, but you should still do it because it's purificatory, right? It purifies, it makes us stronger, it nourishes our soul. It, we get all kinds of other benefits, like we get detached from the lower consciousness, things like that. Sadhana is a very, very important aspect of spiritual practice. So what is sadhana? We mentioned the core practice chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This chanting japa. Anybody here has never chanted japa in their life? Like, I think everybody has chanted japa, right? Pretty much? Yeah? Who has not? Okay, let's try the other way. Who chants japa? Who has chanted japa at least once in their life? Yes, good number of hands. So if you have not chanted, start now. It's very easy. We have japa beads. There are these beads that you hold in your hand, and you count the number of rounds or the number of chimes you chant Hare Krishna. Okay? Then other practices like kirtan, which we're doing a little bit earlier today. We're singing Hare Krishna. Then what you're doing right now, attending the temple programs. That's the core practice. And there's 4 regulative principles. This is also part of the core practice. 4 regulative principles means there are 4 sinful activities that we avoid. Those sinful activities, they cloud our consciousness to the degree that we can't make spiritual progress. So we give up the 4 sinful activities: meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. We give those up. We stay away from them. It purifies the heart. It brings us to a level of sobriety. And so if you do all those things, you chant 16 rounds, you attend programs regularly, you take part in arti, kirtan, and so on, and you observe the 4 regular principles, that's the core practice, right? Now, sadhana bhakti, Prabhupada said in the morning walk, sadhana bhakti is practicing. Truth is there, but how to be intimately connected with the truth. That is sadhana. This is Prabhupada in the morning walk. It's very nice. He says, he defines what is sadhana bhakti. Truth is there. Krishna is a truth. Absolute truth. But how to be intimately connected with Krishna? That requires sadhana. In Bhagavad Gita, so we're talking about regulation now. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Krishna says that he who is temperate means regulated, in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So we want to regulate, we want to moderate so that it's a success factor for our continued discipline. Right? So what does Krishna say? Don't eat too much, don't eat too little, don't sleep too much, don't sleep too little. And he says you don't regulate in working and recreation, like working out, exercising. You have to exercise a little bit. You should exercise. Prabhupada used to exercise. He used to go for morning walks. It's good to keep the body moving. Simple things. But Krishna says, don't do too little and don't do too much. You see. Don't eat too much, don't eat too little. I focus on the second one, don't eat too little. That's like important for me. But you should have something that you believe in, right? So we should be regulated, moderated. This way what happens, the body is free from pains, less distraction from our growth, you see. So that's regulation. Now, some practical tips on how we can do sadhana. If we set a fixed routine for chanting and reading, like we said, niyam. Niyam means I'm going to do it every day. And you set a fixed time. And if you have to make adjustments, that's fine. But for the most part, you should stick to those fixed times. That regulation really helps because our bodies kind of work on their own biological clocks and so on and so forth. So it does us well when we are regulated and routine. Okay? And we want to engage in these practices with the sense of mindfulness and focus. Otherwise, it's very, very easy to fall into the routine of a rut where the mindfulness is gone. That's also, a side effect of routine. So routine is good and bad. If everything is routine, yeah, but where's the fun in it? So we have to have a routine which is fun. And you have to engage the consciousness, so it requires mindfulness and focus. So what is the impact of sadhana? What happens? It cleanses the heart of anarthas. What does anartha mean? Something you don't want. That's right. What does artha mean? Something you want. It means profit. Artha, money. Cash. Mullah, dead presidents. That's what we want. Because it's good. We can use it for stuff. Anartha means something that's not profitable. But it comes. It's like something that's unwanted. It's degrading to us. So we cleanse the heart when we regulate it in our sadhana. And we develop a sense of devotion. It softens the heart. And we develop gradually love, a feeling of love for Krishna and love for each other in the right way. So sadhana is very important. Then move on to seva. Seva means selfless service rendered for the pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. It includes both practical and devotional activities. Right? So, what is the goal of seva? Goal of seva is it's a means to connect to Krishna. Just like sadhana, all these are means to connect to Krishna. Prabhupada has taught us that seva is not just a physical activity, but a spiritual act of devotion that brings one closer to Krishna. It transforms mundane activities into spiritual practices when you perform with the consciousness of pleasing Krishna. The consciousness has to be engaged, right? Krishna tells us, you're already doing these things. Whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever you give away, whatever austerities you perform, you do that as an offering to me. Right? Yat, how is it? Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi tadasi, yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. You do that, tat kurushva madarpanam. All these things that you do, austerities that you're doing, work that you do, whatever you're giving away, do it for me. This is the essence of seva. So the goal is Krishna. And seva, by definition, has to be devoid of ulterior motives. True seva is devoid of material motivations like fame, power, even personal satisfaction. I'm not doing it for my satisfaction, I'm doing it for you, my Lord. You see? It's performed purely out of love for Krishna and his devotees and his creation. Prabhupada would emphasize, seva is not about what I get, but what can I give to Krishna and to others. So, what are some ways we can do seva? We can offer hospitality, we can assist people in their spiritual journey, we can assist Vaishnavas in so many different ways and serve them. We can extend seva to humanity. Have you heard of this phrase, this very common phrase in India? It says, Manava seva is Madhava seva. You heard that? It's very common, isn't it? Manav seva is Madhav seva. If you serve humanity, you're serving Krishna. Is that true? Yeah. Okay, so I'm hearing no, and I'm saying she's saying it should be. Yes. Yeah. So it's like this. Manav seva is Madhav seva. The problem is people don't know how to do Manav seva. What Krishna conscious movement is doing is Manav seva. There is no higher Manav seva than what Prabhupada has done. And what Prabhupada did was give Krishna to others. That is Manav seva. Anything else is not Manav seva. That is masquerading as Manav seva. Prabhupada did nothing but Manav Seva. He saved the actual drowning person. Other people are saving the jacket, and they're calling this a Manav Seva. Hey, leave the drowning guy drowning in there. No. We should all engage in Manav Seva. How? Become strong in our Krishna consciousness and share what we have found in Krishna consciousness with others. That's important. But when people say Manav Seva is Madhav Seva, when they say it that way, they are completely wrong. They are wrong because in their mind, Manav Seva means something else. You know? You go under the bridge in Calcutta, Howrah Bridge, there's homeless people, and you ask them, how can I serve you? He says, today I feel like smoking Ganesh Bidi. Oh, here, come, I'll get for you Ganesh Bidi. This is not Manav Seva. But I gave him Ganesh Bidi, he likes it. Plus it's about Ganesh. No, it's not Ganesh. So this is why we don't do that Manav Seva, Madhav Seva, but we know what is true Manav Seva. So there's practical examples. We go on book distribution. Our devotees do that all the time. It's a very compassionate act to give books to others. And community care that we do. We're feeding the hungry, feeding prasadam. Whoever comes here is hungry for Krishna. You know, we care for each other. Right? And the impact of doing seva is that fosters unity. Because if someone serves me, I feel indebted to them. And I want to serve them. And when I serve them, they feel indebted to me. It creates a sense of unity and love. It's a bond. But it's centered around Krishna. And so we create a triangle of unity, where two devotees are serving each other with Krishna as part of their language, as part of their culture, as part of their common point of interest and love. And so Krishna is always there in every transaction of love. Isn't it? So it fosters unity and purifies the heart. Another thing about seva is that one of the hardest things to get rid of in terms of anartha is this arrogance, pride, sense of pride that we get. We get puffed up very quickly. You accomplished one little thing, we get all puffed up and walk like this. And then something happens and all the air comes out. Right? And then we get puffed up again. But if we do seva proactively, preemptively, it fosters a sense of humility. No, I'm your servant. But just saying servant is not enough. You have to actually do the seva. Yes. So it has a good impact. It purifies our heart from this very difficult anartha to get rid of, the puffed upness that comes. And puffed upness is very natural, right? We get proud of small things. So we come to the third point, swadhyaya. It refers to regular and systematic study of Vedic scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the works by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has so brilliantly condensed and consolidated all the truths of Vedic literature in such a straightforward language. If we just read his works, listen to his lectures, all our misconceptions will be gone. And if we still have misconceptions, we can approach Dravida Prabhu, who can clarify them in very succinct ways. Hari Bol. So this is Swadhyaya, we have to study. There are many devotees who have studied this very deeply, and they can help you. And you're all so fortunate that you have in your midst dozens of such wonderful stalwarts. So, the importance is that it provides the philosophical grounding and clarity in devotional life. What to do, what not to do. See? Right? It protects us against doubts and misconceptions. It nourishes the intellect. And then part of Swadhyaya is that part of your study is to teach somebody. If you studied something and you practice explaining it to somebody else, if you can explain what you know to a fifth grader, that means you understood it. Otherwise, you're not smarter than a fifth grader. Right? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? You don't have to be smarter than a fifth grader. You just have to explain to a fifth grader. And if that person, that kid, can explain it back to you, it's great success. So this is preaching. Preaching just means sharing what you've learned. We cannot practice Krishna consciousness without following the philosophical, having a deep philosophical understanding. We cannot. Religion without philosophy is sentimentalism. And sometimes fanaticism. This is chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, the purport. And philosophy without religion is just dry speculation. Both are useless without each other. They need each other. So what are practical ways to do it? Of course, daily reading, participate in discussions, sign up for Bhakti Shastri course, and so on. And nowadays on Zoom, there's so much Sangha available, so much Swadhyaya available. There's no excuse at all. Maybe back in the 80s and 90s when there wasn't so much internet, you had to go and find some books. There was no Amazon. You had to go find a bookstore. Now there's no shortage. There's no excuse. You can take a phone out and have access to everything Prabhupada wrote for free. And you can click a button and it translates to any of 85 languages. You have no excuse. Swadhyaya is available. Okay. We just have to make time to study it, digest it. It's important. Srimad Bhagavatam says, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavad sevaya. You know what makes us lose sleep? We can't sleep properly because there's so many abhadras. Abhadra means inauspicious things in our life that stress us out to no degree. Like, to no end. We just stress, that's why we lose sleep, tossing and turning. Small things stress us out. This is called abhadra. But when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, regular attendance in classes, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Almost all abhadra things are destroyed. That's why you come to Bhagavatam class, people are sleeping. Why? Because abhadreshu is all gone. and lasting sweet sleep is established in the heart as an irrevocable fact. So, if you want to sleep nicely, read Bhagavatam. Okay. We should not be lazy about this study. You can't say, I'm doing seva, it's good enough, I don't need to study. No. What did Mahaprabhu say? Mahaprabhu said this. Siddhanta boliya chitte nakaro alasha iha hoite Krishna lage shudreda manasha. Siddhanta boliya chitte nakaro alasha. In understanding this Siddhanta, this philosophy, do not do alas. Alas means laziness. Don't be lazy about this. Studying, we should not be lazy about studying. This matter, Siddhanta. Why? Iha hoite Krishna lage shudrida manash. It makes your mind very firmly connected with Krishna in a strong, determined way. You know how we say, oh, I have a hard time controlling my mind. It goes here and there when I'm chanting japa. Well, you want shudrida manash? You study. Don't be lazy. Study deep. Dive, there's a lot of nectar in it. It's an ocean of nectar. If you want pearls, you find them at the bottom of the ocean. If you stay on the surface, you'll just collect fish. You go deep and study it very, until you understand it so well. Don't be lazy. And there's no end to it. You can't say, I've read Bhagavatam. No. Nobody has read Bhagavatam and finished. It's not possible. You can read it 10,000 times and you'll still find 10,000 flavors of love in there. There's no end. Just keep reading it. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right? And once you have a deep understanding, nobody can shake you. You upgrade your category from Kanishta to Madhyama and from Madhyama to Uttama. One of the characteristics of degrees of advancement is how well you know Scripture. And how strong you are that nobody can shake you. And you can also get to that level of strength where not only nobody can shake you, but you can convince many people easily. So that's the gradation of devotee. That cannot happen without Swadhyaya. It's very important to do this Swadhyaya, okay? And then there's Sangha. Sangha means what? Association, right? The company of like-minded devotees who inspire and support each other in Krishna consciousness. It's very important. You find like-minded devotees. Find your tribe. Find progressive devotees who are only interested in moving forward. That's the kind of association we want. Sangha. It's very important. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All the Shastras, they keep saying Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. This is important. Lava matra means one moment, a very fraction of a second, if you associate and get just a brief Sangha of a sadhu, great devotee. Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All perfection will come to you. Why? Because the qualities of the sadhu rub off. That's the nature. It rubs off on us. So we want to open up our hearts to be influenced by great devotees. You see? So you hear and you chant in the company of great devotees. You build relationship with senior devotees for guidance. And you cultivate supportive friendships in bhakti. Friendships are important, where you can open up, isn't it? Has anybody here read this book by Rupa Goswami called Nectar of Instruction? Nectar of Instruction. It's by Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's summary of Rupa. It's a very nice book. It has only 11 verses. It's only a very thin book like this. You can get it for free on the internet. You can get it very cheap here also. Read that book. That teaches us many things. But it teaches us in particular the importance of Sangha and also how to associate. Like 6 ways to associate with devotees. Right? Dadati pratigranati guhyam akhyati prichati bhunkte bhojayate cheva shadvida priti lakshanam. These are 6 symptoms of loving exchange among devotees. Giving gift, small token gift, exchanging gifts, receiving. Giving something to eat, prasadam, receiving prasadam. And opening up your heart and receiving also somebody else's confidential talks. And being friends like that. 6 things. These 6 items will strengthen our Sangha. It's very simple. These 6 things people do anyway, but you do it with Krishna in the center. Tell me who your friends are and I tell you who you are, isn't it? In Gujarati we have a saying, Jevo sang, tevo rang. Any Gujaratis here? A couple. Oh wow, quite a few. Yes. Jevo sang, tevo rang means, rang means color. So whatever your Sangha is, that will reflect in your color. Not the color of the skin, really, but the color of your personality. You know? You'll pick up the colors. You'll pick up the vibes. You'll pick up the values of your associates. So, Srila Prabhupada has built this movement primarily to facilitate this Sangha of devotees. Okay? We'll come to the last one, Sadachara. Sadachara means proper conduct and etiquette as a Vaishnava. Right? So, this is something we need to learn. We need to know what to do, what not to do. Trinadapi sunichena means be more humble than a blade of grass. And be more tolerant than a tree. This is the core of Sadachara. If we at least value this essence, the essence of this instruction. We may not be having all aspects of it in our life, but at least we value it and work toward it, then Krishna will bless us with it. Genuine humility is a very rare thing, but we can at least appreciate it and develop it. You know? It's hard to be humble when you're so great, but somehow I'm managing. You know? So we have to come out of that whole spiral. And we have to respect all living entities, recognizing their spiritual essence. You know, this is part of that Trinadapi Sunichena. You avoid offenses. We want to avoid offensive mentality, to be harshly judgmental, to be mean, to be backbiting and so on. Vaishnava aparad. So this is part of Sadachar. Avoid aparad. Aparad means offenses. You can take that word apart too. Appa means going the opposite direction. Like the word opposite comes from appa. You're going against. Against who? Radha, exactly. Aparada means going against Radha Rani. Because Radha Rani means one who worships Krishna best. It comes from Aradhana. Aradhito Nunam. That's in Bhagavatam. That's the secret name of Srimati Radharani. So she who worships Krishna best is Radha. And you go against that worship, the opposite direction, then you're going against Radharani. So aparadha is very bad. Avoiding aparadha is really key to sadachar. All right? So let's look at some practical things that we could be doing. We want to speak and act respectfully, resolve conflicts peacefully, and always be truthful. If we can do these things, we make huge progress in sadachar. Okay. Now there are 3 levels of devotee that you find in Nectar of Instruction: Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. Kanishta is the lowest. Now these are all devotees, by the way, okay? They're all trying to be Krishna conscious. But their sadachar, or their level of sadachar, is what differentiates their levels. This is how you can identify. You're like, oh, who am I to judge? I can't judge devotees. Who am I to judge? Rupa Goswami is saying you better judge. Why? Because we have to know how to exchange interaction, how to associate with different devotees. Isn't it? We want to be influenced by the right kind of moods. Not every kind of mood that's out there. So, we have to distinguish between Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. And the distinctions are described in that same book. Kanishta means someone who appreciates Krishna, but he doesn't know how to talk nicely with devotees. Doesn't know how to deal nicely, because he thinks Krishna is only on the altar, he's not in people's hearts. But if we realize Krishna is in our heart, we would not talk to people like that. We would not treat people meanly, or be unfair with them, be unnecessarily harsh with them, be rude. So that sadachar is what distinguishes. Then you can tell, oh, this one is Kanishta. That's it. It's very simple. We're told to do this. We're told to distinguish. Why? Because then we have to know what to do with them. Madhyama is one who understands Krishna very well. He also sees Krishna in his heart, and he treats everybody with a lot of respect and love and care. You see? And he's always on a progressive path, he or she. They're making progress in Krishna consciousness. They're very solid in the understanding. And Uttama? Uttama is the highest, where their behavior is impeccable, spotless, always loving. Just spending a second with them fills us with this bliss. They're always smiling. Their understanding of Krishna conscious philosophy is incredible. They can influence others and make them devotees. And they're constantly meditating on one thing: how to give Krishna to others. That's a day and night. They don't even sleep, like Prabhupada. They don't even sleep. Just giving Krishna to everybody, flooding the world with Krishna consciousness. That's their main meditation. That is Uttama Adhikari. So why are we supposed to know these 3 levels? Because we have to then know how to interact with them. So that's also given in the book. So Kanishta, we offer respect. The lowest level, we offer respect from a distance. It says offer respect from a distance. It says that. That means we recognize they're Krishna conscious, but we don't want their other qualities rub off on us, so we offer respect from a distance. We respect because they're devotees. We don't want to get too close to them. Madhyama, we become friends. Because they're progressive, they're in the right direction, moving strongly, higher and higher. We want to be influenced by that, so we also want to be friends with them. So we become close friends with them, we work things together, we become progressive ourselves. That's Madhyama. And we treat everybody very nicely also. We learn how to treat people nicely from them. And Uttama, what do? We serve them. We look for opportunities to serve them and really get whatever mercy we can get. So if you notice, the devotees are offering you respect from a distance, then we know we have some work to do. All right? Okay. So if we have good sadachar, we create a harmonious community where Krishna consciousness flows freely. We have to reflect on ourselves. Is my sadachar up to par? Is it sadachar or is sadachar? No. Sada means rotten. And sadachar means good behavior. Okay? So to summarize, sadhana, seva, swadhyaya, sangha, sadachar. These 5 aspects form a strong foundation for Vaishnavas' spiritual progress. They're interconnected and vital for cultivating pure bhakti. Okay. Now, which practice is most impactful in the sadhana? Japa. So we've been talking about japa. I think some of you have been attending some of these sessions we've been doing. We had a couple of sessions. So I'm going to recap that for the benefit of everybody who's here in just a few minutes. Prabhupada said, 90% of our spiritual progress depends upon this one instruction of chanting our japa while trying to avoid offenses. All the potencies of Krishna's name, Krishna's powers, they're in the holy name, right? Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. All his Shaktis are in the holy name. So this practice is very, very important. Do all those 5 things, but of those 5 things, we have to do sadhana. And among the sadhana practices, we have to chant japa. There's no way around it. It's not an optional thing. No amount of scrubbing in the temple is going to make up for not chanting japa. You have to do your japa. Okay. It's very important. Krishna even glorifies japa in Bhagavad Gita. Maharshinam Braguraham Giram Yasmi Ekam Aksharam Yagyanam Japa Yagyosmi. Of all the yagyas, I am japa, particularly japa, he says, right? So we talked about this notion of the 4 gates. There are 4 gates to completely, to have successful japa practice. So what are the 4 gates? The first gate is the fundamentals, fundamental external things. You have to have good posture, sit up straight. You have to have clear pronunciation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You chant Hare Krishna in a sacred space, like a temple, or you can have some nice quiet corner in your house. Maybe you have an altar room or an altar space, or you can go in the nature area, like by a pond in a park. Anything that's sattvic, that's mode of goodness. And of course, you want to wake up early. Early morning hours are very conducive to japa. So if you do all those things, that's the external fundamental things, right? You've heard Prabhupada's japa tape? Hare Krishna, Krishna. He interrupts his japa to give a very important instruction. That's right. Hare Krishna, say it properly. Oh, Jai Prabhupada. Why? Because it's slouching, and your leg is this way, the other leg is that way. It's not nice. Our posture indicates a level of respect. And that our posture affects our mind also. If I'm sitting in a certain way, mind will also feel that way. So if a posture looks like a lazy person, the mind will become lazy too. If a posture is like this, respectful, sitting up straight, like how Prabhupada said, then it makes a big difference in the quality of connectivity. Yes, it's a posture, clarity of pronunciation, not here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty, kitty. No. Hare Krishna, right? Not hey mama, 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 hey, hey. No, Hare Rama, like that. Okay. Pronounce clearly. Don't slur the words. Because you're respecting Krishna. That's the first gate, by the way. The second gate is engaging the mind in the right direction. This is the hardest part, right? The mind wanders all over the place. The mind and intellect. So if we have a clear understanding of the identity of the holy name, that here is Krishna, we can remind ourselves of that with our mind and intelligence before we enter the japa session. Align the mind and intelligence by reflecting. That's why a lot of the times we read 1 or 2 verses, or we read one paragraph about the glories of the holy name to align the mind, remind us, what is it that we're doing? It's very serious. It's not something superficial or a joke. Then there's less chance of mind wandering. There's more chance of a respectful mood, the right mood. So that's the second gate, mind and intellect. The third gate is the heartfelt emotions. We have to engage our emotions. We want to enter with a plea and a prayer. Prabhupada said this chanting is a prayer. We're praying that, my Lord, please engage me in your service. We're requesting something. And if you request with tears in your eyes, there's a good chance you'll get it. But if you request with distraction, with no feeling, do you really mean what you're praying? See? How do acharyas pray? Their hearts are just overflooded with tears and joy or even remorse. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gavayu. I wasted my life, my Lord. Please show me mercy now. I wasted my life. I knowingly drank poison. I didn't worship Radha Krishna. I got this human form of life. Awful. Please show me mercy now. I still don't get it, my Lord. And we cry with that mood. Krishna reciprocates. So we engage the mind, we engage the heart with feelings. We open our feelings before the Lord. We may not have love for God. That feeling of love is very far. It's very far off goal. But we have access to love adjacent feelings like gratitude, appreciation, and remorse. That's right. Some of our students here, they've memorized those. So if we have saturated our hearts with gratitude and appreciation of the Lord, those are easy to grab and apply in our hearts. It's an attitude that we have to develop. An attitude of gratitude. If you can't remember that, gratitude is the attitude. What does that spell? That's right. Took a while, but okay. Gita, G-I-T-A. Gratitude is the attitude. Yeah. Everyone is eligible to approach the Lord, but we have to bring our feelings into it. We can jump onto love adjacent feelings, gratitude, appreciation, and remorse. And then there's a fourth gate where the handle is on the other side. It's a gate of mercy. Mercy of Krishna. He only will open that door. We have no power or control over whether we get mercy or not. But we cannot knock on that fourth gate without having gone through the other three gates. Why? Because these are concentric circles. Like in Gopurams, in South India we have these Gopurams. You know this one? This is wall, temple, and then you go through one Gopuram. This is a Gopuram. It's not a temple. That's a gate. And you go into another one. So they're concentric. You have to go through these multiple gates. You see? So we cannot knock on that fourth gate unless we've passed through these. In other words, we cannot cry for mercy if we're not giving out everything. And if you've gone through these first three gates, it means, my Lord, I've given you everything. My posture, my sound, I'm giving full respect. My mind fully understands who you are now. And my heart, I'm giving my feelings. Everything is yours, my Lord. I'm crying in front of your gate. Now please open this gate and show me your mercy. We have no right to ask for mercy if we still haven't even crossed that first gate. And we're slurring our rounds. We don't really have any respect, no attention, no affection, no feelings. Just going about mindlessly. When we know we're able to do this, we know we have gratitude in the heart, we know we're able to grab it, why not? So go through the first three gates, knock on the fourth gate, and beg. And then we wait for the mercy. We may not come right away. When we go through the first three gates, we practice utsaha, enthusiasm, nishchaya, determination. And at the fourth gate, what do you practice? Dhairya, patience. Patiently wait for the mercy. Then we can say, my Lord, what more can I do? You please guide me. And Prabhupada says, if you simply follow these principles, success is guaranteed. All right? Seva, sadhana, swadhyaya, sadachar, sangha. You recognize their interdependence. Together they create a holistic framework for advancing in our Krishna consciousness, spiritual life. And we want to encourage all the devotees here to take at least one practical step in each of these areas this week. Something more than we've done before. Make your japa next level. Go for a quantum leap. We have nothing to lose. You're not going to save any more time by slurring your rounds, by giving low quality rounds. The amount of time will be the same. Might as well put the effort and get the full bang for the buck that you put the time you're putting in. You see, it's not going to be wasted. Now you start seeing some results. All right? So I want to thank you all very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Madanagopala Prabhu. Thank you so much. As I mentioned at the beginning of class, but I know some of you weren't here, Madanagopala has been here for a couple of days speaking on japa, how to chant your best japa ever. And those classes are on our YouTube channel. And if you aren't already subscribed, you can just look up ISKCON San Diego Live. And he gave a class last night, and he gave a class this morning on japa. He's also, some of you don't know him at all, he's visiting from New Jersey. He's been initiated in ISKCON for over 40 years. He's an educator and a manager in ISKCON. He's also an initiating Diksha Guru in ISKCON. And he is going to give another class on Tuesday morning. He'll be giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class here. So that starts at 7:45 a.m. So 7:45 a.m. Tuesday morning, he'll be giving class here in the temple room. That'll also be live streamed online as well on our YouTube channel. And of course, you can look him up online. He has so many classes that he gives in New Jersey and elsewhere. So you can find many of these topics discussed more.